Hello, friends. Welcome. Salem Mason Happy Home. Happy to be here with you today, Friday, I think November 14th. Yeah, November 14th. It's actually going to be spring-like weather today. It's going to be in the mid-60s here in the great state of Minnesota. That'll be a nice respite for all of the people that don't like winter. I don't know. But I'm not here to talk to you about the weather. I'm here to talk to you about a despicable act that occurred on November 7, 2025 in Edgewood, Canada, British Columbia, whatever the frig they are. Talk about no kings. They literally have a king named George, whose brother Andy is a pedo. That's a video for another day. There was an ostrich farm in Edgewood, British Columbia, Canada, whatever the heck. And it had been a generations-long farm. They farmed ostriches because ostriches are currently their eggs and stuff are being studied and reviewed because ostriches apparently have this remarkable and inexplicable immune system, and they're immune to things like cancer and other crazy things, like sharks, right? So they had this farm, and ostriches can live a long time, and some of these ostriches reached 35 years old. They all had names. They were all beloved co-workers, teammates, family of this family of human farmers. And in December of 2024, there was a bird flu outbreak. The government came in and, I don't know, for some reason, they singled out this farm. And at that time, they murdered 300 to 400 of the family's ostriches. And then that was in December of 2024. And there were roughly 30 of them left, ostriches. And so last week, December 7th, 2025, they were, this is really hard for me because without animals, we would not exist. We cannot live without animals. I'm not talking the meat industry. I'm talking companion animals, horses and dogs and sheep and goats and pigs and cows and predatory birds and worms. Every living creature, without them, we would cease to exist. They're also innocent. Completely and utterly innocent to the plight of the human evil. So after the murder, the Canadian government, the Canadian federal agency, after they murdered somewhere between 300 to 400 of this poor family's livelihood, without any compensation, mind you. They intended to take the last 30 of them and slaughter them as well. But the family appealed this all the way up to their highest courts, bringing the vet's documentation verifying that none of these 30 had any disease. They were disease-free, they were clean, they were super healthy. There was nothing wrong with these 30 ostriches, not a thing. They had the documentation, they had the proof. And the highest court in their land said, nah, we don't care. We're too liberal to be compassionate. We're too blue to be kind. We're just going to murder your livestock. And on December 7 of 2025, these motherfucking monsters with guns came in and in the middle of the night, under the cover of darkness, in the middle of the frickin' night, they came in And what they did was they seized the farm. They put it in forfeiture. They seized the farm. They took control from the family, threw that family out of their farm. And then these fucking Canadian federal agencies, they went out and they starved those ostriches for 2 to 3 days. So that when the food truck showed up, the ostriches got excited and they followed that food truck into a field. And those fucking monsters gunned them down in front of everybody. Yeah, it's a small farming community, but people know in farms, no guns. They know what's going on. When a bunch of government vehicles with headlights and shit show up. I curse every one of those gunmen. I curse you. I hope you get harmed because of this. I hope people find out who you are and hurt you. So now there's supposed to be, I guess, this coming week, a massive protest against what this government did. And hopefully it'll hit the news and we'll be able to see what's going on more. Some of those 30 were 35 years old, those ostriches. Starved for 2 days. They see the food truck. They want to eat. They're starving. They follow it into a field. And then those fuckers gunned them down. You know who else? Starved living creatures. And then herded them up into the edge of ditches and into fields and gunned them down? Adolf Hitler. Innocent Jews starving them to death and then lined them up along the edge of the trenches and gunned them down so they could fall in their own grave. Some of those ostriches survived the gunshots. A couple of them survived and they suffered with gunshots. An ostrich suffering with a gunshot for 2 days? It boggles the mind when I hear people get all offended and up in my grill when I say I fucking hate humans. This is why I get angry. This is why I'm ashamed to be a human. This is why I just can't take it anymore with these people. You filthy murderers. I hope this gets all over the news. I hope these bastards get exposed to the ill. I hope that they name every one of those masked murderers with their guns. And I hope people go and dox them. They deserve it. If my government, if my employer said, take a gun and go shoot these innocent, starving creatures because they're perfectly healthy and there's nothing wrong with them and they're 35 years old, they're beloved like family. We don't get 35 years with our dogs. Do you know how rare that is? I would have refused. I would have walked off the job. Murder for hire. That's what it was. Disgusting and despicable and vile. Shame on you, Canada. I hope you pay and get punished for what you did. You lying, disgusting, filthy, woke pigs. Just gunned them down. My God. And the veterinarian that was assisted them because they said, oh, well, there was a veterinarian there. Oh, really? Well, that veterinarian should have their licenses pulled. Because veterinarians aren't really supposed to be killing healthy, vibrant, beloved animals for no effing reason. Canada, you make me sick. I'm glad our borders are closed. You get stuck with all the sickness in the ilk. I hope you rot to death. And until next time, God, please try to do better and be better as a human.